StrayAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is, we are on part 5 now of this series of the common entrepreneurial mistakes. I'm going over 21 common entrepreneurial mistakes. This is part 5. I've already given you the intro to this subject. But before we get into the points, I'll remind everybody I send out a text every day, guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point, called the Daily Motivation. Text me at my number, 305-384-6894. And you'll be getting that. You can get that message also, the Monday Motivation, which I send out every week. Same number. If you don't get an immediate response from us, that means we're still dealing with some tech issues with the text number, but it will be back. We will get that fixed. So even if you don't get a response immediately, I'm still promoting the number because it's not going away. We just are dealing with some issues as of today's recording, which again may have changed by the time you hear this episode. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. That is the place where I do all my coaching. That's the only place you can work with me directly, the only place you get access to the Work on Your Game system, the Bulletproof Mindset framework, the Business Builder framework, and the Next Mission framework, all based on mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. If you were to go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, you can see all this stuff in writing, what exactly we're offering, how it works, how you can get involved in the program, and how you can schedule a time to get on a call with us so we can talk to you about where you're at, where you want to go, what might be in your way. And if we feel like you'd be a good fit and that we can actually help you, then we'll tell you how it works from there. Again, that's at workonyourgameuniversity.com. That link is down below in the description as well. So with that out of the way, let's get into today's topic, which again is part 5 of 7 parts, which are the 21 common mistakes that entrepreneurs make. Number 13 is procrastination and chronic slowness. This one is pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to explain it even further than just the point. This is the most simple point in this entire series, this one right here. All right, procrastination and chronic slowness. So everybody knows what this means as soon as you hear it. This is an entrepreneur simply moving too damn slowly. And when I say moving slow, I mean you're slow in making decisions. You are slow in making change. You are slow in implementing decisions, slow in implementing new ideas, too slow to decide on parameters for measurements, i.e., how do I know if this is working or not working, quote unquote. And because of all this, you are too slow to achieve your specific targeted outcomes, if you even have specific targeted outcomes. We can add that to the list. Maybe you're slow to even come up with objectives so that you know how to measure your performance. Most people, whether entrepreneurs or not, move through life as if their time is unlimited. Most people, entrepreneurs or not, move through life as if their time is unlimited. Nobody's time is unlimited. We all know rationally that each of us at some point will run out of time. They call that dying or death. You need to run your business with the conscious understanding at the front of your mind that your time eventually will run out. And most importantly, you have no idea when. So it'd be one thing if you knew exactly how much time you had left, so you could kind of ration out your urgency. But since you have no idea how much time you have left, you shouldn't be rationing out anything. You should use what you have on a daily basis. And the next day, if you happen to get granted another one, do the same thing again, then do the same thing again, then do the same thing again. You would achieve probably a lot more in your life if you acted with just a considerably higher amount of urgency. And I think everyone can agree to that, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. And this is one of the reasons why I talk about this so much. I talk about this with athletes, I talk about it with entrepreneurs, I talk about it with just everyday people, or when I'm just talking about a general subject that applies to everybody. Urgency, folks. Your time is unlimited. Your time is not unlimited. Your time is extremely limited, which means we need to perform as if we know that our time is limited. Your time is going to run out. It's going to be over. You're going to die. It means whatever you didn't get done the day that you die ain't happening. It ain't going to get taken care of. Don't think that your kids are going to handle it, or your family members who are left over. They got their own stuff to take care of. Don't expect that they're going to pick up where you left off, especially if you didn't leave them any structures or systems for how to do it. Okay, so you need to run your business as if you understand it ain't happening if you don't do it. Okay, you need to have this as a conscious understanding at the front of your mind. You need to get things done now and not later. Do things fast, not slow. Immediately, not when you feel like it. Give yourself shorter timelines that push you to move with more urgency and more energy, and not giving yourself timelines that fit within your comfort zone. All right, to hell with your comfort zone. And your comfort zone is the reason why you may be committing some of these 21 mistakes already, because you're trying to stay comfortable. All right, getting uncomfortable and forcing yourself out of that comfort zone is what will help you stop making the same mistakes over and over again. So if you're giving yourself, for example, 2 months to get something done, see if you can get it done in 1 month. If you're giving yourself a week, see if you can get it done in 2 days. You probably can. It doesn't even matter what it is. You probably can. The challenge is you are giving yourself a timeline that's comfortable for you. See, what's comfortable for you is not the solution. What's comfortable for you is the problem. And if you can just change your framing just on that alone, it can change a whole lot about what you're doing with your life, let alone your business. Point number 14. Today's topic, once again, is we are talking about the 21 common entrepreneurial mistakes. We're on number 14, poor time management. This goes hand in hand with what we just talked about. Many people are poor at managing their time because, again, many people, again, entrepreneurs or not, conduct themselves as if your time just goes on and on and on, and you just have as much time as you possibly need. This is nonsense. It's a lie. You know it's a lie when you consciously think about it, which leads to you doing things that are all based on a lie. You're lying to yourself. That you can just take your time. You get around to it when you get around to it. You want to do things at your pace. Fuck your pace. All right, your pace is the problem. Your pace is not the solution. It's the problem. Okay, this is a result of poor time management. Understand that you only have 24 hours in a day. Okay, so there's really no such thing as time management. There's no time to manage. You got 24 hours. No matter what you do, you got 24 hours. What are you managing? Nothing to manage. What time management actually should be called is self-accountability and self-discipline. That's what it really should be called, but it's hard to sell courses on self-accountability and self-discipline because most people don't want to sign up for it. Most people want to sign up for time management. Oh, let me manage time. That's my problem. No, you need to manage you. That's what actually needs to be managed. The time ain't changing. Time's going to go whether you're around or not. It's you that needs to be managed. So again, there ain't no time to manage. You have the exact same amount whether you do something good or you do something bad or you do nothing. You are the thing that needs to be managed, and you need to get more urgent about how you are using your time, and make sure that you are making the most of the time rather than the time basically running and managing you. How much time are you giving yourself to get certain things done? If you just focused on that and really put some emphasis on that in your own life, I guarantee you get a lot more done a lot faster. How much time are you giving yourself to get things done? All right, you're giving yourself. There's a client who I'm working with right now in Work on Your Game University, and this person was telling me that they're finishing a book, and I said, "Oh, what's your timeline for getting the book done?" And it was about 2 months out when we were having this conversation. They said, "I'm giving myself 2 months to get a first draft done of the book, whatever it is that they're writing." And I said, "How about you give yourself 1 month and we get the whole thing done?" I'm talking about whether you need to write 2 drafts, 3 drafts, whatever. We just need to put some urgency behind this because your timelines are pushing everything backwards. See, the longer it takes you to do things, the longer we got to push back the goals, and the longer it takes you to get to your outcomes. And again, we got to respect the fact that we ain't got forever to get the stuff. So we can't keep pushing things back and doing things slowly. We need to do things faster now so you have more time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But we got to get the labor done. We got to get the labor done to enjoy the fruit. But if you give yourself too much time, you may never get around to the fruit. You might die before the fruit comes off the tree. Everybody following that extended metaphor there. So how much time are you giving yourself to get things done? Give yourself less time. Cut your timelines in half. Or just do a thought experiment with yourself. You can hear many thought leaders use this framing, and I'll use it here, is looking at your goal and ask yourself, if I had to get this done in half the time, how would I do it? Not that maybe you can't get it done in half the time, but if you had to, how would you do it? That's just a question. If you had to get it done in half the time, what would you do? All right, if someone's going to run a marathon, right? You decide you're going to run a marathon. The marathon is in 6 months. You got a 6-month plan for training for the marathon, right? Ask yourself the question, and it doesn't have to be half the time. It could be even less if you want to push yourself. Let's say the marathon was in 1 month. There's a marathon 4 weeks from now, and you just signed up for it, and you are not in any type of running shape. You don't even run. Or you can't even run around the block, let alone a marathon. But you signed up for a marathon that's happening in four weeks. If you had to be ready for that marathon, how would you do it? Now, again, maybe you can't get ready in 4 weeks. Maybe you will fail at trying to get ready in 4 weeks. But let me ask you a question. if you put it into effect a plan that was based on you being ready in 4 weeks, would you get in pretty good shape over the next month? Do you think you would? I think you'd get in damn good shape over the next month if you were trying to get ready for a marathon. You only have 4 weeks to get ready, as opposed to saying, I got six months, let me take my time. You see, just changing the question, folks. The quality of the questions determines the quality of the answers. The quality of the answers determines the quality of the effort. The quality of the question determines the quality of the answer, and the quality of the answer determines the quality of the effort. You give yourself a bad answer, you can have all the energy in the world and do shit with it because you gave yourself a shitty question which led to a shitty answer. You ask yourself a better question, you will come up with a better answer, which will lead to a completely different set of behaviors, which will lead to different outcomes. That's why I wrote a book called Ask Yourself a Better Question. If you go to workonyourgame.com/books with an S on the end, workonyourgame.com/books, you can see every book we have listed there, and you can take your pick and get everything you want. Fill up your basket and get them all. So when you give yourself time to get things done, this is one of the values, rather, another way of saying this. It's one of the values of having a coach. One of the values of having a coach is somebody like myself or any coach who's worth it is that they're not going to accept your comfort zone timelines. That's the best way to say it. Your comfort zone timelines. Tell me all your comfort zone timelines. We cutting all those timelines down, all of them. Okay, you gave yourself 6 months to do that? No, we're doing that in 3 months. You gave yourself a week to do that? No, had that done in 2 days. You gave yourself an hour for that? You can finish that in 30 minutes. That's what a coach is going to push you to do. Now, what you'll find out is you can get double the results in half the time if you would just allow yourself to be pushed. This applies to every human being listening to this, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. A lot of stuff that I'm talking about here, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to apply it. So that's why I often tell you, even when I'm making topics that are directed towards a certain type of individual, even if that's not you, you should still listen to this because there are things I'm going to say that can apply to you, even if it was not meant for you. I mean, that's literally how Work on Your Game came to be what it is today. For those who don't know, when I first started online, I was putting out content specifically for basketball players, teaching them how to practice and play basketball. It was when I started talking about mindset because the players were asking me about it because they saw my consistency. They were asking, how do you perform in the game? Or why'd you keep trying when you walked on in college and you only played 1 year of high school? Or how do you get started getting known on the internet? It was when I started talking about those things, discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative, that people who were not athletes started finding my material and saying, Dre, you know, this stuff applies to people who don't play sports too, right? And that told me what I was going to do when I got done playing ball. And that's exactly what I've been doing with the entire Work on Your Game business since then, since 2015 when I stopped playing. I started the show in 2016. So I'm saying all that to emphasize this point that just because I'm doing a series about entrepreneurship, even if you're not an entrepreneur and don't plan on being one, there are things I'm going to say here that can apply to you too. And if I do a series in the future about somebody who's an employee, but you're an entrepreneur, you should still listen to it because there are things you're going to hear in there that could help you. So with that said, let's continue our points here. We're still on the first point of today's episode, which is we're on the second point, point number 14 of poor time management. We're talking about how you are just being a little bit too easy on yourself. You're giving yourself time. Are you even giving yourself a time frame to get things done? Or are you just saying, I'll just do it and however long it takes, it takes? Now, some people like to say that and as if that's like the plan. However long it takes, it takes. I say bullshit. My response to that is bullshit. You don't give yourself, it just takes as long as it takes. No. We don't do that. Why? Because tasks tend to expand. This is Parkinson's law. A task will expand or contract given how much time is given for it. So if you give yourself unlimited time to get something done, guess how long it's going to take to get it done? Unlimited time. Instead, if you say, I got an hour, you tend to move with more urgency. You're a little bit more focused and you'll get more done in that hour, even if you're not finished in an hour. Let's say you come up short. You don't finish in an hour. I guarantee you'll get more done in an hour if you give yourself an hour than if you said it just takes as long as it takes. Everybody get where I'm coming from here? You got to give yourself parameters, folks. Same way if you had a job, your boss just can't say, all right, it takes as long as it takes. The boss is going to say, get that done by the end of the day. All right, and they're not playing. So are you even giving yourself a time frame? I would suggest you go with giving yourself time frames and give yourself time frames for damn near everything you do. So someone may listen to this and say, damn, Dre, it's kind of like being in the damn military or having somebody breathing down my neck. I give myself time frames to do everything. Is that what you're saying? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Now, why am I saying that? Why would I want you to do that? Why would you want to subject yourself to that? Why? Because you are a forward-thinking, ambitious, goal-oriented person. At least I think you are if you're listening to this show. And if you're not, that's okay. You can keep listening, but I make my show for those type of people. So that's why I'm saying this. If you're an ambitious, goal-oriented person, understand you have to give yourself time frames to get things done so that you can get more done in a limited time, which you have remaining in this life. That's why. That's why you would subject yourself to this militaristic style of time control, or is really self-management. Is really what it is. Let's stop talking about time. Let's talk about you, because that's the real thing that needs to be managed. Again, how are you going to manage something that doesn't change? So moving forward, that's how much time you get to get that thing done. So time yourself. If you're not sure how long it takes, time yourself. Time yourself when you're doing something. You see it took you 6 minutes. Okay, now from now on, you got 6 minutes to do that thing. All right, it takes you 6 minutes to wash your face and brush your teeth in the morning. Okay, now from now on, you got 6 minutes to wash your face and brush your teeth in the morning. All right, that's how it works. All right, that's the plan. Everybody understand this? That's how it works. So when you do this, you'll start putting time frames on every activity you do in your business and in your life. You can apply this to your out of work life as well. And again, the goal is you're going to be finding yourself getting a lot more done every single day, and you're going to be moving with more urgency because you know I got a certain amount of time here, and then I got to get to the next thing. All right, this is not magic, folks. All right, most people's biggest problem with time management is that you aren't doing any managing at all. You're not managing anything. All right, again, how are you going to manage time? It just keeps moving at the same pace steadily no matter what you do. What are you managing? You're not managing anything. You can manage the person in the mirror. That's who really needs management. Point number 15. Today's topic, once again, is the biggest mistakes, most common mistakes entrepreneurs make. Number 15, lack of relationships and inside connections. In other words, we talked in the previous installment of this series, anonymity of you not being known by your target audience. So this one is about you not being known by the people in your industry, meaning the other people who are doing similar things to what you're doing. Now, you may be wondering, Dre, why do I need those people to know me? Those are my competitors. Why do I need them to know me? I need the customers to know me, Dre. I'm trying to make money. Why do I need to be known by other people who are essentially trying to take money from people who should be my customers? Do I even want to know these people? The answer is yes, you want to know these people, and I'm going to tell you why. In school, they teach you're taught to go get all the information, right? Hold it in your head, and then you regurgitate it on tests and exams. That's generally how it works, right? Medical school, law school, regular college. That's the level that I stopped at. I went through regular college. I ain't going any further. What's the other schools? K through 12 is what? You get the information, you memorize it, or you quote unquote know it. Then they give you a test, and you got to regurgitate the information without referring to the text or the manuals or looking at anything, right? Is that pretty much how it works? Anybody who's been in school more recently than me? Okay. And if you're in school and you get caught looking at somebody else's paper or cheating off someone else's answers, or quote unquote cheating, that's what they call cheating, right? You're able to cheat, or you fail the test, you may even get kicked out of school, right? You cheat on the exam, you get kicked out of school. In business, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. You don't ever want to limit yourself to just the information that you personally can hold in your head. Right? You're not limited to that, and you don't want to limit yourself to that. Life, unlike school, is an open book test. You can open, when you're faced with a challenge in life, as opposed to school, you can open any book you want. You can ask any person you want. You can refer to any website you want to get the information that can help you solve the problem. Is this true? Any of you dealing with a problem right now, you can access anybody you want to get help with that problem. You don't have to limit yourself to just you figuring it out, even though many people make this mistake. And one of the reasons that they make this mistake is this very point that I'm making right now. So one of the things that you can do when we talk about life being an open book test is you can open your book, your Rolodex, your phone book, your contacts, and do what? Contact other people who are either have already taken that test or in the process of taking that test, and ask them, hey, did you ever deal with this question? What's the answer? Can you help me with this answer? How do I figure out the answer to this question? I guarantee you there's somebody out there who has already taken the test and has already answered the question that you are stumped on and can help you. But if you don't know them and they don't know you, guess what? You have no access. It's not that the information is not out there. You just don't have access to the person. This is why the relationships matter, people. The relationships matter, not just the ones that are going to make you money, but the relationships with people who can't give you anything money-wise. I have a lot of relationships personally as an entrepreneur with a bunch of other entrepreneurs. These are people who are not going to buy anything from me. I'm not going to buy anything from them. We're not selling to each other. But I like knowing them because they know stuff that I don't know. They see stuff that I don't see. They have access to other people who I may not have access to. So they go learn something and they tell me what they saw. I go learn something. I tell them what I saw. This is why you need the relationships. For example, one of my guys, Jacob, he just sent me a message today. Jacob and I met over a decade ago, and he used to sell. If I got any ball players following me, he used to create this program, or he created, and he used to sell this program called the Jump Manual. And it was a perfect complementary program to what I was selling, because I used to sell basketball programs for players to do stuff on the court, like dribbling, shooting, moves, footwork, drills, stuff like that. And Jacob's thing was specifically focused on how to jump higher, and because a lot of basketball players want to dunk the basketball. So I was an affiliate marketer for his program, and Jacob and I did thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in sales together through launches and different stuff we did together. And we are still connected to this very day, even though both of us have moved on from the basketball stuff. We were recently at a marketing conference in the fall of 2023. And after the conference stuff ended, we were hanging in the lobby. I'm a guy who hangs in the lobby a lot. At conferences, I hang in lobbies and just talk to people all day till the maintenance people start come cleaning up. That's the type of guy I am when I go to conferences. I just talk to everybody. Jacob doesn't do that as much. He goes and he wants to go hang out at the bars or at the jacuzzis and stuff like that. So he's at the jacuzzi. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to the jacuzzi, man. You should come down there." I was like, "All right, I will. As soon as I'm hanging in the lobby, then I'm going to come to the jacuzzi." But I never got out of the damn lobby. So by the time I got out of the lobby, the jacuzzi was closed. But Jacob sent me a message that night. He's like, "Yo, I just met this dude. I was hanging in the jacuzzi, and there was like a bunch of other guys in the jacuzzi. We all started talking because we're all at the same conference." And this guy said, "Look, we have a company that takes training products, specifically sport-based training products, and we do all the marketing, we do all the selling, we do all the emailing, and we will basically sell your product for you, and all we do is just get a percentage of the sales that you make." Jacob said, this guy, what he said was great, because I don't really focus on my jump program anymore, so I'm going to connect with this guy, and they're going to sell the program for me, and they just get a percentage, and then I'll make money off a program that I haven't even really been focused on selling. He was like, "Dre, you still got those basketball training programs?" I said, "Yes, I do." It's all in messages. He sending me this. He said, "Well, look, I'm going to connect you with this guy. I'm going to introduce you to him tomorrow at the conference, and then y'all can do business as well." And long story short, those guys, I just got an email from one of their staff members today, as a matter of fact. They just put together and launched an email campaign. They're going to start running ads soon, selling my programs. The whole point here is none of that would have happened if I didn't know somebody who knew somebody. And mind you, this other guy who he connected me with was at the same conference as me, but it's 5,000 people at the conference. I can't meet everybody. I never ran across this guy at the conference. I would not have met him, but because I knew somebody, he met him. So when he would meet people, he said, "Hey, I met this person, this person, this person. Here's what they are. Maybe you want to know one of them." And I could say the same thing to him. But if I didn't have the relationship, none of that could have happened. Another friend of mine, Michelle, just sent me a message just 2 days ago. Michelle lives out in California, and she messaged me a group text. It was me, her, and one other person who I don't know. And it was this guy who she knows from out in her side of town. He just moved to my neighborhood. He literally lives like 5 minutes away from me, and she's friends with him. And she sent the group text and said, "Hey, I want you two to meet Dre and this other guy. I think his name is John." It's in my text. And she's like, John meet Dre. He does this, this, and this. Dre meet John. He does this, this, and this. All right, you two are in the same town. I think y'all two should probably get to know each other. That's perfect. And I haven't met John yet. I actually just left him a voicemail, but we're probably going to connect. Who knows? We may end up doing business together or something like that. But I may have, had I not known Michelle, who knows John, I might have walked right past him in our neighborhood and never had a conversation with him because I don't know him and I don't know anyone who knows him. But now, because I do, that happens. So these relationships, folks, are a big deal, especially when you're working in business. You are not in school anymore. In school, you are graded on how much you can do just by yourself under your own power. In real life, especially in the entrepreneurial world, you are graded on how much you can access the resources that will help you solve the challenges that are in front of you, not the fact that you can just solve them on your own. Nobody cares that you solve them on your own. All they care is that you solve them, period. So that's why you want to build relationships with people and be connected to them. These are the people you can call on when you face a challenge or you have a question that you can't answer. Again, they may have already addressed the question. They could already answer it for you. And you can do the same for them when they have a question. That's why you need to be still working on your game and building up your knowledge of, your knowledge base and your experience base of what you're doing, so that other people see you as someone who can help them, as well as you seeing them as someone who can help you. Because if you can't help them, then why they need to be in a relationship with you? So you need relationships in business, people. This is one of the reasons why, again, I go to events. I go to events specifically to build relationships with new people and to strengthen relationships with people who I already know. And it is not to hear the speakers. Okay, I don't go to events to listen to the guys on the stage. Shout out to the people on the stage. And sometimes I'm the guy on the stage. I don't go to events to listen to the people on the stage. I go to the events to meet the other people in the room because those are going to be my relationships and going to help move me forward. All that said, let's recap today's class, which is we are on is this part 5? Yes, part 5. 21 common entrepreneurial mistakes. Number 13, procrastination and chronic slowness. Again, this applies to everybody. This ain't even an entrepreneurial point, but entrepreneurs are guilty of this just as much as everybody else. People just moving too slow. Your decisions are too slow. You are taking action too slow. You change too slow. You're just too damn slow. You need to move with more urgency. Number 14, connected, poor time management. I'm calling it time management, but it's not really time management that you need. It is self-management, self-accountability that you need. There's no time to manage. Time is moving at the exact same pace all the time, every day, no matter what you do. You don't need to manage time. You need to manage yourself and give yourself parameters and time frames to get things done. I guarantee you'll get more done faster. Number 15, lack of relationships and inside connections. In other words, you don't know the right people in your world. Again, you can cheat off the tests of other people in real life. You cannot cheat off anybody's test in school. In real life, you are supposed to cheat off tests. You should never try to figure everything out on your own unless it's something that is within your zone of genius. And most people's zone of genius is maybe 1 to 3 things at the most. Anything outside of that, tap into other people who already have answers to the questions. You do not need to be an expert. You know that Dale Carnegie, he was the guy who created the first, he was the first, I believe he was the first billionaire in America. I believe that is one of his claims to fame, but he operated this huge steel organization. No, I believe it was Dale Carnegie. I may be getting, I think it was Dale Carnegie. You know that Dale Carnegie knew nothing about the making or the manufacturing of steel? He knew, not Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie is the guy who wrote the book. No, it's not Dale Carnegie. It's Andrew Carnegie. Excuse me. Andrew Carnegie is the guy I'm talking about. Andrew Carnegie knew nothing about the making or the manufacturing of steel, even though he owned basically the biggest company in America at its time was the Carnegie Steel, empire that he owned. He didn't know anything about making steel, but he had a mastermind group of people who did know everything, connected between all of them put together. They knew everything about making steel. All he did was organize them, and that was his claim. That was his power. His superpower was organizing all these people, and that's why he became the richest man in the known world at that time, because he had relationships and connections, not because of necessarily his direct abilities or knowledge. But all that said, folks, tomorrow we go on to part 6 of the series. Make sure you are texting me, so you're in my text community. Numbers down below in the description. Work on your game university. You want to get better at getting more things done faster. You want to stop managing time and start managing yourself the right way with that accountability and get the right mindset, the right fire under yourself. And you want to start building the kind of relationships that will help you take your business where you want to go. We call it the Dream 100. You want to do that strategically, consistently. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Schedule a time to get on a call with us, and we'll take it from there. Work on your game. Dre, all